Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Kate Mercy. Today we're going to be doing a kind of like monthly roundup, talking about some of my favorite beauty products that I used and some of my least favorite beauty products that I used. So if that is something that you're interested in, then please give this video a thumbs up. And without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so some of these products are cult favorites and things that I've talked about on my channel before, and then some of them are new, so it's kind of a hodgepodge this month. But the first thing I want to talk about is this by Charlotte Tilbury. This is their Pillow Talk Intense Blush. So it is one of the deepest shades that they have. So quite honestly, it's super pigmented. So you need a very light amount. I would suggest building this and not going in kind of heavy-handed and like really stippling it and swishing it on there, because it is then going to look a little bit more muddy and maybe be harder to blend out. But if you use a light hand and you apply this, it creates a really beautiful like flushed look. I actually have it on today, so I love this. I am looking forward to hopefully obtaining more shades to try in the future. On the same like blush note, but opposite, as in I can't stand it, is this by ColourPop. This is the shade Trippin'. It is from their Wild Child collection. I'm pretty confident that's what it was called. So I tried this as a bronzer and I really did not like it. It's a weird formula. So that was 2 taps. It is super pigmented, and I think quite honestly, it's just not made for my skin tone. So if you are somebody that has a darker skin tone than me, you would probably enjoy this. Unfortunately for me, I am Casper the Friendly Ghost, and this just does not look okay on my skin. The other thing that I find is that like you saw, I take 1 or 2 taps with my hands or a sponge or a brush, and it is so much product, and then it doesn't want to blend out. So it's kind of like stuck exactly where you put it. So I think even if this shade was right for me, I think that the formula is just not something that I love, because if it's too concentrated and it sticks to whatever one area you put it down on. So for me, this is just like a humongo miso. I have other powdered blushes from ColourPop that I enjoy, so I was kind of disappointed that this was just a miss for me. This product is a bit of a cult favorite, and it is by Tatcha. It is the Liquid Salt Canvas. I've talked about this, honestly, for the last couple of months, but it really just is so good. So good. I just feel like it does a nice job of balancing out my skin. It does a nice job gently kind of giving a blurred effect to the pores, and it creates a nice and smooth base for my makeup to go down on. I find that I really do notice a difference on days when I'm not wearing this versus I am wearing this. So honestly, it is a super expensive primer, and I wish that I could tell you that it's not worth it, but in my humble opinion, it really is. I just really love this, and I can't say enough good things about this. Again, kind of on the contrary, I have been playing with this by Pacifica. It is their Cherry Matte Mattifying Primer Pre-Makeup Oil Control. It identifies that it is silicone free, which is great. It's 100% vegan and cruelty free, also great. Couple things. I personally really like the smell of like cherry and candy, but if you don't like that, you're definitely not going to like this. It literally smells like cherry, like sour cherry candy. It's very potent. It does dissipate as time goes on and you wear it, but it is very heavily fragranced like that. Additionally, I just don't really see anything great happening. I don't find that I am like super mattified. I don't find that it necessarily does like a 5-star job of like keeping oils at bay. For those of you that may not know, I am combination skin, which means like half my face is dry, and then in the T-zone I'm like an oil slick. So I was kind of hoping that this would provide that mattifying appearance that I'm going for in my T-zone, and I'm just not really getting that from this. I'm really not. It's like it kind of does nothing, you know, like it's not I don't find that it's like super drying to the face. I don't find that it's like super moisturizing to the face. It just kind of is there and smells like cherries. And I just don't think this is necessarily worth it. A product that I think is kind of worth it and is new to me, I'm pretty sure it's a newer product. This is by NYX, and it is their Pore Filler Target Stick. So what I do with this is I go in, as it says, it's kind of for like targeting specific areas that are maybe a little more like obviously porous. So I take that like right in here and then right in my forehead, and I really find that it does do a nice job of blurring it out. One thing I will say is it's kind of like an interesting consistency. It's like a little bit more like slick. And so the snafu with that is I would avoid your nose area, primarily because I find that like if I try to put it on my nose, the foundation doesn't stick to my nose quite as well. So ixnay on that, ixnay on that. And the other thing I would suggest with this is that you use another primer with it, because this is really just like, it's for like a very specific problem in a very specific area. So I do like this. It was a pretty cost-effective option compared to other primers. However, just kind of bear in mind that it's really like a one-trick pony. It's for targeting specific areas where pores are more visible. That being said though, I have been enjoying mixing this with my Tatcha, and I find that that like really does it for my skin. For bronzer this month, I'll give an honorary mention to my Becca bronzer, but unfortunately you can't find that anymore. Like now you really can't find it anymore. So I'm probably going to try to not like speak on here about it while I try to pan it. But something I can speak about that I have been enjoying quite frankly all summer, but I have been doing some Scott Barnes technique business with this. This is by Tarte, and it is their Breezy Cream Bronzer in the shade Seychelles. I can never say that. I just find that it really is such a breeze to blend out. This one is actually one of my favorites because it's great for like that Scott Barnes technique in the way that like it blends out easily. It's super smooth. It's buildable. But also if you are just trying to like bronze over a done face of makeup, powder included, this goes over powder in my experience without lifting it, which is why it's a literal godsend. I saw that Tarte released their cream cheek products as far as blushes go. That's the word I was looking for, blush. And I haven't tried them yet, but I would be curious to. If you have not tried this cream bronzer and you are looking for a cream bronzer that kind of does it all, like it goes under makeup really well, it blends out really well, it goes over makeup really well, it's not too pigmented, it is a little bit of a warmer product, so it's certainly not going to be like a contour product. But you can just, hopefully this is like gonna cooperate here, but it just blends out really smoothly. Again, it is a warm toned bronzer. I'm not sure what the other shades are, but for me and my skin tone, this works really well. So if you're around my skin tone, I would highly suggest that bronzer. I don't see like anyone talking about it, and it's so good. Like, what is happening? I don't know. For foundation this month, I have been really loving this by Charlotte Tilbury. It is her Airbrush Flawless Foundation. So this alleges that it is a full coverage, long wearing foundation. I have mine in the shade 3 Cool, and I find that it does live up to both of those claims. Something I do want to kind of disclose, or like disclaim, I guess is probably a better word for it, is that it can be a little bit of a pain in the butt to blend out. So I find that if I'm going to wear this foundation, which quite frankly has been a lot this month because I've really been wanting like a full glam moment, I find it works best with a wet sponge. You can certainly do it with a brush. I find though, for me anyways, that when I do blend it out with a brush, I get like kind of streakiness. It is a thicker consistency and it's full coverage. So if those are like things that you absolutely don't like, then you're not gonna love that. Don't touch it with a 10-foot pole. But if you really love full coverage glam makeup, I really do enjoy this one. If you like the Kvd Locket Foundation, it's an older one, but it's still one of my favorites. It was like the first foundation ever in my life that worked for me, ever. This is pretty similar to that, quite frankly. So I find that it works best if I blend it out with my sponge. Less is more with this product. So I think, for me anyways, I find more success if I use one pump and really try to like spread it all out and like take my time. So it's a little bit of more of a high maintenance foundation. However, the finished look, I'm always really happy with. So absolutely loving this. In that same realm of complexion, I have been using this, and this is by Urban Decay, and it is their Stay Naked Correcting Concealer. This is 20YW. I love this concealer. I love this concealer. I don't know if you can see, I have it on. There's no like creasy bunchy business. It's a kind of a thin formula, but it, in my humble opinion, it's pretty full coverage, medium to full, definitely buildable. It doesn't clunk up. It doesn't get stuck in your fine lines and wrinkles. If you're like 20 something, you're like, I don't care what you're saying. But if you're maybe my age, like, or older, I'm 31 for reference, I find that this does a nice job of like not settling in and emphasizing my crow's feet. It does not like gather and bunch. I really like this. I think it might be a hair too light for me, just kind of based on like looking at myself in the camera here. But the formula on this is really, really great. Urban Decay, I find, does complexion products really well, and this is no exception. It's not a new product, but if you're on the hunt for a new concealer, I would definitely recommend this. Or if you have this in your collection and you're neglecting it, I would encourage you to stop. Stop neglecting it. It's really, really good. I have two powders that I want to talk about today. You'll probably see them both coming because I feel like I've used them like 100 times, just because they've been working so well for me. So the first one is by Covergirl. I apologize, the packaging is so hideous. I ordered this at Target online and they put like a giant security sticker on it. I'm like, what is happening here? But I digress. This is by CoverGirl. It is their Outlast Extreme Wear Pressed Powder. It is full coverage. I don't know if this is supposed to be like a pressed powder foundation. It does not say foundation on it. It just says buildable full coverage. So I use this as a setting powder, and personally I have like little poofs that I got off of Amazon, primarily because I lost my Blendiful, which I need to order another one. Does anyone know if I wanted to order a Tati Beauty Blendiful, like will it ship to me? Because I actually need a couple of those, but I digress. Back to the powder. But please let me know down below if I need a Blendiful. Will it ship to me? Please tell me. Anyways, this is in the shade 810 Classic Ivory. You can see, hopefully you can see, there's like rings showing. I've had this for like 2 months, but literally ever since I got this, I have not been touching my loose setting powders. I just go in with this with a powder puff and press it into my skin, and I really do feel airbrushed. Like, obviously I cannot like make my pores disappear, but I can minimize the appearance of them, and I just feel like this does such a nice job of that. This is one of those powders where if you're wearing a foundation that you don't necessarily love the way that it's making your skin look, this can help save it. It's kind of like if you watch Samantha March, she talks about her Dior powder and how it can like save really wretched situations. That's how I feel about this powder. I just feel like it really does do such a great job. These two together are like a full glam beat dream. Obviously very different price points, but this one is just, it's really, really good. The other powder that I wanted to talk about is by Jaclyn Cosmetics. So this is a quad. I have mine, I'm pretty confident, in the shade light medium, and it comes with 4 different shades. So they are supposed to be like super brightening, super blurring, and like just soft effect under the skin, and I find that that's exactly what they do. So this powder is just so nice, so blendable. It really does a nice job of like smoothing and setting my concealer underneath my eyes. It also does a really great job of brightening underneath my eyes. So if this is something that you have been on the fence about, I would 10 out of 10 recommend to a friend. It's a little bit more expensive. It's certainly not like a cost-effective option, but it works better than A, just using a regular setting powder under my eyes, and B, it works better than some of my alternatives. I have the under eye setting powder by Pat McGrath, and while I still enjoy that product, I just feel like the tones on this are much, much better. The Pat McGrath one, I'm pretty sure, comes in like 2 or 3 tones, which is like not super helpful, and either it's like way too light or way too dark, so I really like the versatility of these powders. The last couple of things that I wanted to bring up today in this monthly makeup roundup are related to the eyes. So for mascara this month, I've actually really been loving this one by Pacifica. It is their Fluffy Lash. First of all, the packaging is like actually glass, so it feels heavy in the hand. It feels really expensive, which is good because it is really expensive. It's like $18, which is an absurd price to pay. However, I do find that fluffy is like the key word here. It makes them it makes them look light and airy, and it really does a nice job separating as well as lengthening. So if you're looking for a volumizing mascara, I don't think this is going to be the one for you, but if you like the look of long and fluffy, light, airy lashes, then I definitely think you would like this one. I am happy that I picked it up, and quite frankly, I can see myself picking up another one of these, which is kind of wild for me personally because I'm so picky when it comes to mascara, especially higher end mascaras. And although you can buy this at like Target, it is a higher end price point, which is not ideal, but I do think it's worth it. I do enjoy this. This product here is by NYX. This is their Ultimate Shadow and Liner Primer. So this is an eyeshadow base slash primer. It is a super thin consistency, and quite frankly, once you blend it out, it turns into a completely clear base. It's not going to be super tacky. It's really, I think the best benefit of this product is that if you are somebody who maybe has like oily eyelids or dry eyelids, it kind of neutralizes that. I don't find that it is going to, like my P. Louise base, kind of cancel out color and allow for a really like clean canvas, but I do find that it allows my shadows to blend out nicely. It doesn't allow oil to peek through. I haven't had issues recently with like super dry eyes. So overall, I would say this is like a so-so product. It's a little bit more expensive. I think there's other ones that probably work just as well. However, that being said, I do enjoy this and I'm glad I have it. It's certainly, if you are somebody that has used the P. Louise base, you'll know what I'm talking about when I say this is like so much easier to blend out. The P. Louise one can be a little bit more challenging, A, because it has pigment, so you can like see if you did a really good job, and B, because it's like that really thick consistency, it can just be a little bit harder to blend out. Once you get there, it's a beautiful finished look, but this one, it's just like very one and done. So if you don't need that like absolute blank canvas and you're just looking for something to like keep the oils at bay and allow your eyelids and your eyeshadow not to crease, then I think you would enjoy this one. If you can find this on a discount, which NYX I feel like always has sales going on, either at Target or Ulta, then I think that this is a good bang for your buck. The next product that I want to talk about are actually on my eyes. So these are the Kiss Magnetic Lashes in the style Tempt. So you can see here, I have them on my eyes. I just find that this is super easy to use. You use, I have it right here. This liquid liner is magnetic, so it has a super fine tip. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Hopefully you will. It has a super, super fine tip that really allows you to be precise in application. You just allow that to dry and then you pop these on and voila, you're done. I am somebody who has a super, super unsteady hand. So for me, applying liquid liner is usually a nightmare, and applying lashes or lash glue, also a nightmare, because I can't stop like shaking. And then on top of that, I don't like things near my eyes. So my eyes are like fluttering. It's a whole thing. This has made my life actually so much easier. I could not tell you the last time I like actively sought out to put on lashes before I picked these up. So definitely, if you see these in like CVS, Target, Walmart, I feel like they're everywhere. Definitely pick them up. I would 10 out of 10. Or I just have a couple of palettes I want to talk about real quick. I hope that's okay. Stay with me. Stay with me. So two of them you can still get. One of them you cannot. However, I want to talk about them because if you have them in your collection, I would like to encourage you to bring them out and play with them because they are oldies but goodies. So the first one is by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it is the Soft Glam palette. I feel like all of us have this, right? We all kept this for years and years because it's just so good. It's like a pumpkin spice dream. You can create a lot of really beautiful neutral looks. So this formula is very powdery. So if you don't like a more powdery formula, you're not going to like that, but you probably already know that. In theory, you probably already know that you don't like Anastasia if you don't like a more powdery formula. I find that it's really easy to blend, it's really easy to build, and it's really easy to work with. So if you want to do a more complex, warm, smoky, dramatic eye, you can absolutely do that. Or if you want to do something really simplistic and really warm and beautiful, you can definitely do that with this palette. I love it. Kind of on that same leg here, this is by Urban Decay. It is their Naked Heat. I was Googling this actually to include it in, I think it was my fall favorite eyeshadow palettes or something like that. And I don't know if they're discontinuing it, but like I could not find it. I think it was at, I want to say Sephora, but it wasn't at Ulta, which was like so weird. But at any rate, if you have this in your collection, I 10 out of 10 recommend you bring it out. It's just a warm, neutral lover's dream. If you're going for like something really, really dramatic, really bold, this probably is not the palette for you. But if you want something maybe more everyday, but you really want to look like a pumpkin spice latte, this is going to be your girl. I love this palette. Love, love, love this palette. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I think I said I had 3 palettes. I'm going to talk about just two more real quick. So this one is by Kvd Cosmetics. This is the Juicy Olive palette. I want to mention this because it is a really, really unique color story. Give Me Glow has a really interesting formula. It's very lightweight and kind of a thinner formula. However, I do find that it blends well and it builds well. So if you're going for something that's grungy, green, a little dramatic, you can do all of the above with this palette. If you want something simple and green, simple and grungy, you can do that with this palette. I just really enjoy this palette as a whole, and I wanted to give them a shout out. The last palette I'm going to talk about, we unfortunately cannot get anymore, which is a bummer. However, I can also respect when somebody says something is going to be limited edition, keeping it limited edition. I think I've already talked about this. Actually, I know I've already talked about this in a recent video, that I don't typically love limited edition products because it creates a frenzy and makes this kind of like weird feeling like we have to get it now. And I know that that's like a literal marketing tactic, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But that being said, this palette is really great. This is the Moon Spell by Lunar Beauty. I actually have used it on my eyes today. I'll have a video going up on this look either before this or after this, probably after this. Anyways, it's just a really beautiful array of colors. I find that these are very like witchy, spooky, Halloween inspired colors. So this is just kind of like a friendly reminder, if you have this in your collection, to bring it out, create some fun witchy looks. Please let me know if you ordered the volume 2. I definitely did. So when I get that in, I'll be happy to post kind of my first impressions and thoughts. I will say that Lunar Beauty does a lot of pressed pigments. So that means that they're technically not eye safe. I don't personally give 2 hoots about that. But what that can mean though is that there can be some staining. But overall, if you have volume 1, I would 10 out of 10 recommend that you pick it up, use it. If you are thinking about using volume 2, I will be happy to post my video very soon on my first impressions and thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It would mean a lot to me if you would subscribe to my channel down below. As always, please stay happy, stay healthy, and stay blessed. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.